Hey guys, Kevin with Kevin's Way Works. So have you ever had an issue? You haven't driven your car in a while, you've been out of town, you've been on vacation, you have multiple cars, so you just don't drive a particular car that often. And you come out to start it up and it won't start, either a completely dead battery or it's real sluggish to turn over. Well, if you've had that happen, stay tuned and I'll show you how you can solve this. Okay guys, so I've been out of town about 10 days. Haven't driven this truck probably for 2 months before that. And decided I was going to take it today on a trip just down the road to the store, grab a little bite to eat, and I go to turn it over and she is real sluggish to turn over. It did start, everything was fine after that, the battery checks out fine, so no damage was done. But it got me thinking that even though this does not happen often with my truck, I don't want to kill this battery. I've had it happen with other vehicles before where the battery got drained drastically and it was just never right again after that. So I do have a solution. I've used this on my Suburban, my Challenger, and my pop-up camper. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what that solution is. So here we go. So what I have right here is a NOCO Genius 2D. And this is a battery maintainer. And this one directly mounts either to the battery or to some posts that go directly to the battery. I did get this one from Zorro and got it next day. Ordered it yesterday before 4 p.m. and arrived this morning around 11:30. So that was a real quick turnaround, but we do have a facility right down the road where these ship from. So there it is. Let's get it opened with a dirty, rusty old razor blade. Don't worry, I have had my tetanus shot recently. But apparently I can't get my fingers to work. Come on, fingers. You can do it. Well, it's either my fingers or this plastic is just really strong. There it is. All right, let's go open this up. There we go. Got all sorts of fancy packaging going on here. Alrighty, let's get all the parts out that we're going to need. I think we will use that. I'll show you what it is in a second. Okay, so there is our NOCO 2D, or NOCO Genius 2D, and you see how it attaches to posts. I'll show you how I did it on my other vehicles. Sometimes I mount them straight to the sides of the battery. So on the battery posts, on the ends of, I'll basically take the nuts off here, put them on the ends here. That works okay. If they have some type of post somewhere else in line, you can do that. The negative can go over here on the body if you want. Positive needs to be on the battery side. You don't want to be supplying power to something on the other side of the fuse box. So you're going to be powering on part of the car if you do that. So don't want to do that. This truck has a post right here. I have got a whole bunch of things on here, so much so that I couldn't get the cap to close and I had to zip tie it. I don't think or know if we're going to use that post yet or not. We'll find out. So anyway, that's how it mounts to the battery. And then it just plugs in. So you just have to have either an extension cord or an outlet nearby, and you plug it right in. Inside this little bag we have two things. Don't let me drop these. Don't let me drop these. So you have self-tapping screws. Now I can tell you what, I have broken 4 out of the last 8 that I've done. I've broken 4 screws out of the last 8. So now when I pre-drill these holes, I pre-drill them so they're just a tiny bit smaller than the threads. I've tried using the self-threading part, and I just ended up breaking them off. So that is an issue that I've run into. And then it has this little strap, and you screw it in there and mount it somewhere if you want to mount it. I mean, you can always just zip tie it to the top of the battery if you want to. If there's enough room, you can zip tie it somewhere else. We're going to see if we can find a place to mount it with this bracket. I'm not so sure that we're going to. I mean, we could possibly do it somewhere over here. The problem is then the fuses are in the way. I don't have anything but a rubberized cover around the battery. Okay guys, I've been looking at this trying to figure out where to mount it, and I tell you, there's just not a lot of good places. There's not a lot of flat places, but I'm thinking about mounting it right here like this. This is the fan shroud that is over the top of the condensing coil. I just want to verify that there's enough room between the coil and the end of the screws to where if we do put screws in here, they don't puncture that coil. Now, I think we got a good inch of room in there, but just to be sure, I whipped out the old borescope, and we're going to give it a check. So this is just a borescope that hooks up to your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever you have, using USB. And this actually has a USB-C connector on it, but I have multiple adapters that I can use it on other devices that don't have USB-C. And so let's go ahead and stick this guy up under here, and we'll see how much room we have. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to record it so you guys can see it. Okay, we've got the recording going. Let's go ahead and feed this up. Up and behind here. So almost this entire gap from here to here is usable space. So we're going to go ahead and I'm not even going to drill holes. I'm going to use the tapping screws to do this, and we'll just tap through this. Not going to hurt anything that I can see. So if it does mess up, don't do it yourself. Do it a different place. Learn from my mistakes, as I've said in a previous video or two. All right, there's that. If you hear a hissing sound and me swearing, you know it was not a good decision. Okay, I'm going to set these screws on the radiator since it is a good place to put screws so they don't fall. I think we might use drill bits for this. We're just going to stick it out just a little tiny bit. Fun stuff. Let's use a drill bit. What do we have? This is like my catch-all drill bit container. Well, that's not going to work. That one doesn't go in far enough. We're going to have to use a little tiny one. So I'm using a little tiny drill bit. So we've got to get this positioned where we want it to go. So right about there seems like perfect. Let's see if we can do this without moving too much. Alrighty, there's one little hole. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this drill bit, stick it back in here if I can, and see how much space we have. See, I haven't even hit any metal yet. So as you can see, we have tons of room. So since that one is good, let's go ahead and get this top screw in, and then we'll get the bottom one. I think I forgot to mention it earlier. This is my 2002 Dodge Ram 1500, and this is the 4.7 liter engine. Let's go ahead and remove this, see if it gives us more room to be able to screw and drill holes. That might just work. So this one, let's get the top one in first. Oh no. Oh, this is my brushless one. This one's broken. Shoot. Shoot. Well, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. It worked. Perfect. So I may mount this upside down just so these cables are running this way, but we'll see. We'll see. Doesn't really matter, but just trying to keep it somewhat even. Let's try that. Let's drill another starter hole. Looks pretty good, guys. Yeah, this drill, I was trying to drill a hole between studs. And as I was drilling, this got switched from 2 to 1. And when it did that, it busted all the plastic off around the drive mechanism. So now I don't have a first gear anymore. Can't get that part anymore, so it's really just cheaper to buy a new drill anyway, even if the part was available. So anyhow, there's that. I'm happy with that, guys. I am happy with that. So let's think about this. Basically, this cord is just going to hang out the front. We can actually pull it all the way out so it's always sticking out, or we can just leave it hanging down. If this is right here like this, I could come down on this harness and come up and over, and we can try to mount into this guy. Like I said, this one's getting pretty full, but I think I can get a, well, that one really is not going to fit in there because of that big fat head on it. I might just put it on the positive side of the battery. That might be that may end up being what I have to do. So I think we're going to use this ground point right here. We could use this one all the way up here. We have enough cable probably. Let's see how much cable we have. I really have enough cable if I flip it around. You guys can't see this, but I'm flipping this guy around the other way so that the wires feed this direction. Problem with that is, though, I don't really have enough positive cable length for that. Let's see if I go this way, I have enough positive cable length. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. I could peel the negative all the way down, bring it over here, but it's kind of going to be up over the relays here and the fuses, and I really don't want that. So let's go ahead and use this point right here. So let's get that off. I'm assuming this is a factory specification for this. I said I don't remember putting anything there, and it's... So let's come behind here. Guys, I could go get something and try to feed that up and through there, but we're just going to take this bolt out. I'm going to take this bolt out. Yeah, see? Work smarter, not harder. So we'll just push that down under there like so. Let's put the bolt back in while we're thinking about it. Don't have to go crazy. I know I say it over and over again, but if I don't, you're gonna do it crazy. You're gonna break something. Okay, so there's a little slap in that, but I think it'll be fine. Perfect. I don't know why they use really long screws some places and really short screws the other places. Oops, I forgot we switched sockets. So I'm just trying to center this so I get a good bite all around. There we go. So our negative is connected. And what we'll do afterwards is I'll get some zip ties and we'll zip tie this up in here. Positive cable. Let me get you pulled back so you can see. Let's get this positive cable installed. So the positive cable, like I said, I don't think we're going to get it on there. There's not enough room. They just don't give you good room for future growth in these older vehicles. A lot of the newer ones, they'll give you a bunch of little studs you can hook onto. Not this one. Guys, we're a little tight if we go that way. So you should undo your negative battery cable when you do this. And your positive. You should undo both. But always do your negative first, because if you accidentally touch something metal while undoing the positive, while the negative is attached, you are going to see sparks and possibly get a little shock. I mean, it's only 12 volts, probably won't hurt you, but you want to be safe. I'm going to take this off completely. Now, since we're not going to be like super tight with this connection, but this is just a little tiny trickle charger, and it's not going to be a big deal if it doesn't make like a really super tight connection. This should be sufficient for it to work. So basically, you just don't want it to come off. I'm just going slow because I'm doing this left-handed and I don't want to lose the nut. Oh, see, the nut almost rolled right off. Get this routed up under here. Alright. This thing's huge, but Well, let's check our nut. I think I'll be all right. Put it on the right way, goofball. All right. Can't center it because it's catching on the lip, but guys, I'm not super concerned about it. All right, there's tight. Yeah, see how that's good and tight? It's not going anywhere. Let's get our negative back on. I don't know if this doesn't have an alarm in it, but a couple of my vehicles start honking like a madman if you disconnect the battery and hook it right back up. So let's go ahead and cover that. Let's go ahead and hook this guy up. Ooh. Saw some sparks and some dust go flying. Sufficient. See how I didn't just go crazy on that and just clamp it down until it mushroomed? You don't have to do that. Do not do that. See what we can do with this wire. Sticking out like a sore thumb, isn't it? I mean, I can't really do anything with it. I guess I can I could kind of zip tie it to the thing there. That way it just doesn't get caught on something if you're under the hood working. That should help keep it out of the way somewhat. See what we can do with the negative cable. Okay. Trying to give myself more room with this clip here, but it's not being cooperative. I think I'm just going to clip it down there like that. I was going to use that old clip, but I don't think it's long enough to be able to get my hands down there and reach it. Alrighty. Guys, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and clip that off. Of course, I had to clip that one on the flat side, which makes it sharp. But it's down there out of the way. Probably won't catch a hand on it or anything. Alright, let me show you what we're going to do with this cable here. So we have a lot of room right here I can work with. I can reach through here and I can feel my fingers. So let's see. Let's route the cable down there. You don't have to. You can remove that if you want. I tried to peel it, it just didn't want to peel easily, so I left it. And you can just let that hang like that if you want. You can, zip tie it somewhere so it sticks outside the car. And then you can just always have access to it. Can you guys see that? Just let it see, there's like a little notch right here. We can put a zip tie around it and it will hold it right there. And if you don't want to be able to see it, just tuck it behind. I think that's what we're going to do. Let's do that. Let's zip tie it right there. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Cut our zip tie off. I try to cut it on the edges, that way it mushrooms it and makes it less likely to hurt you when you run your arms across it. Now, if you want to, some people will put externally accessible terminals. They make water-tight ones that you can screw in that have a flap on them, and they'll have a plug end on them, and then you just take your extension cord and you can plug it in from outside. You know, I'm not going to charge this one very often. It's just there just in case. And I don't have it on this truck yet, but I do have these little Bluetooth monitors that you attach to your battery, and it broadcasts over Bluetooth. I think it's low energy Bluetooth, so it doesn't use a lot of electricity. All right, well guys, you saw that was a pretty simple thing to do. This NOCO 2D was only $40. You can get them all over the place, multiple places. You guys said I got this one at Zorro, Amazon. I think you might be able to buy them direct from NOCO. So not very expensive, way less expensive than replacing a battery that you let die because you didn't drive it for a while and you totally forgot that was going to happen. So highly recommended if you're in a situation like I am, or let's say you're older, you drive maybe 200-300 miles a year. This is a good option for you. One issue though, always remember to unplug it. One time I forgot, and luckily it hit the end and it unplugged itself. It didn't rip any cords out or anything. Now that that's done, let me show you the installs I did on my Challenger, my Suburban, and on my pop-up camper. So stay tuned, we'll get to those next. All right guys, please forgive the green monster for being so filthy. She wasn't expecting to be on film today. And don't look up in here. Pretend you see none of that. But seriously, this is under a elm tree, and these leaves are constantly getting up in here and making this mess. Pretty much impossible to keep clean unless you're out here every 2 weeks cleaning it out. All right, hopefully you guys can see down in there. I can't really tell from the glare of the sun on the back of the camera here. But as you can see right here, I did not mount this one. I just dropped it down between the battery and that fuse box right there. And this one is attached directly to the battery right here, and also right here. And I've had no issues. This has been hooked up for years, no issues. So we'll just stick that guy back down in there. And then for the routing of the cord, it goes up and through one of the air vents. So these have air vents, so when you shut the doors, and I think it's for when you shut the doors, they open and blow air out, so you don't get that pressurized feeling inside the vehicle. The problem though is they deteriorate really quickly and they start falling off, and then you have problems with mice and other rodents getting up in there, as well as little lizards and things like that. And then you find dead mice in your car all the time. But anyway, I'm going to take this cover off and I'll show you how I routed this. See if you can see that. Yep, you can see it. So see, I just routed it through this air flap here because it was broken off already. If you don't want to do that, you can always drill a hole and put a rubber grommet in there and feed it through. I just don't like to have exposed metal like that because it can rust over time. But as you see, it goes through there. I'll tell you more about this metal cover I have on here in a future video. I also have a backup camera under here. That's what this wiring's for. And I'll tell you about this. So this is a battery monitor right here. I'll tell you about this also in a future video. These things are pretty cool. There is a vulnerability in them I'll talk about as well in the future video. And then on this side of the car, it just sticks out where the license plate goes. And then I just plug it in, and when I'm done with it and I unplug it, I just leave it hanging there. It's not hurting anything. It just probably confuses a lot of people, and they're wondering why I have a plug sticking out the back of my car near my license plate. So anyway, that is the Challenger. Let me get you over to the Suburban. I'll show you that one. Hopefully we don't get too hot. The sun is shining right on you guys. Oh yeah, you can see it. You can see it. It's hiding. I'm gonna get you over here a little more. Hopefully this can see it because it's down and in here. See it? It's right here. Little NOCO charger. And to get to this one, where I put it, it's on the side panel. Actually, I think it's mounted to the fender itself, but the fender is kind of like a structural part of the front of these vehicles. And so no other place to really mount it in here. It's so tight, full of stuff. But it is sitting right here. The cable runs down in here, and with zip ties, see there's a zip tie here, there's a zip tie here, and then it goes down to the unit after that. There's no more zip ties. And then it just sticks right here, and I just jam it down into the area behind the headlights, and if I need to charge it, I pop the hood, hook the charger up to it, and because the hood is open a little bit, when you get in the vehicle, it's going to tell you that the hood is open, and that is your reminder to yourself that, hey, you also forgot to unplug it. So it helps having it under the hood because of that. Nothing special about it. It is connected. Yeah, it's directly connected to the battery. So as you can see, this black one right here, that's it on that side of the battery. Yeah, and over here, it's also directly connected to the battery. And then this one also has one of those battery monitors that I'm going to talk to you about in another video. And this one too has HID lighting. I don't know if you're interested in that. If you are, let me know in the comments. I added HID lighting to this one too. And as you can see, this is one of those Amazon, eBay headlights, and the clear coat's already peeling off of it after a couple of years. I mean, we do have brutally hot summers here usually. So, I don't know if this gives you a better view. You can see, there it is. Hey, you can see it now. If you couldn't see it before, you can see it now. And then there's the cord. And then there's that monitor. These things are awesome. All right, now that you've seen all that, let me show you pop-up camper. Okay guys, here is the pop-up camper. See how this one is mounted into the frame? Let me tell you what, if I did this again, I would probably mount it right here, because this frame is like 3/16 of an inch thick, and I broke drill bits. This stuff is, I mean, I don't even know how they got these in here. This thing is just thick steel, and it's not just thick, it is hard. I mean, I went through, I just drilled drill bit after drill bit. This stuff is ridiculously hard. Anyway, that really doesn't matter. You're going to have to take my word for this because I really don't want to take this cover off. But this is also attached directly to the battery. But I think, you know what, guys, I lied. I'll take it off. I'll take it off. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The reason I wasn't going to take it off is because it's really hard to do one-handed because of the way these things work. Let's try to just gently slide that over so I don't have to. I think we didn't do enough. It's not enough. Oh, got it. Oh yes, okay. So this isn't a marine battery. This is a marine starting battery, and I got this because it was inexpensive, and I wanted to have these terminals like this to be able to screw into, and all the other ones did not have ones that fit everything that was on here. So for some reason this marine starting one from Walmart did, and I just picked it up. May not be the best battery for this, but all it's going to do is, for us, it just runs the brake system in case it detaches from the vehicle. So that's really all it does. And this one also has one of those battery monitors that I'm going to discuss in a future video. So that's it. Pretty simple setup. Alright guys, so what did we learn? You know, if you're not going to be around for a while, if you have a parasitic draw, if you have a vacation home, if you have a camper, if you have multiple vehicles, this is the way to fix a battery drain issue. You just hook it up to the battery, keep it there permanently, no reason to open the hood and put little clamps on one of those external devices. This stays attached forever. Well, until you want to take it off. So when you want to use it, just grab an extension cord, plug it in. When you're done with it, you want to go somewhere, unplug it and go. So very simple fix to a pretty common issue. But anyway, I hope you guys like that. I hope it helps you out with your battery drain issue. And once again, thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.